Math 102, example 2.4.2. What about dividing complex numbers? Now there are certain things that we are not allowed to have in the denominator. 0, of course, is the most important, but we're also not supposed to have a radical or an I. So for a problem like this, 2 plus I over 1 minus I, to rationalize, which is what we call this process, we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. So, here's my problem. The conjugate of 1 plus I, or 1 minus I, is 1 plus I. Again, I'm going to multiply that same thing on the top and the bottom, which means I haven't actually changed my problem. So there's the conjugate of the denominator that we're multiplying, and let's FOIL. So I get 2 plus 2i plus 1i plus I squared on the top. And on the bottom, I get 1 plus I minus I squared. The two middle terms on the bottom will cross out. And adding up, I get 3i. I squared is negative 1, which means negative I squared is positive 1. And so I write that as 1 plus 3i over 2. Now, we like to have our final answer in the form a plus bi. So in other words, I'm going to write that as two separate fractions, both of which have the same denominator. And that's the form that we will see on homework and tests. Now, the final good news about complex numbers is you can do them on your calculator. So here, the only thing I've got to be careful about is I need parentheses around the entire numerator. To hit I hit second, and then the decimal key. Divide it by, and then parentheses around the entire denominator. Don't need to put in the conjugate, just put in the original problem, and then hit enter. Now as a default, I get decimals, but to change that into fractions, I hit the math menu. And again, that first option, arrow frac, is the one I want. And there is my answer as a single complex number with reduced fractions.